For Brian Sobel. Brian, there's so much at stake here, but at the same time, this seems like a lot of political theater. You listen to Republicans, Judge Kavanaugh sounds like the greatest thing since sliced bread. You listen to Democrats, and it sounds like just the opposite.
Yes, that's the case, Frank. It's fairly typical of these kinds of hearings. Depending on which position each side has staked out, you're either the angel or the devil.
Yeah, Brian, Judge Kavanaugh said today he has given it his all in every case. He's proud of his body of work, and he stands by it. There's been a lot of talk, though, about Roe versus Wade. In your opinion, do abortion rights advocates have real reason to worry that, if confirmed, Kavanaugh could work to reverse Roe versus Wade?
We don't have a window, Julie, into Brett Kavanaugh's heart. Only that on a couple of occasions he said that that's not something that would be on his agenda. That has been decided. But you never know whether some decision comes to the Supreme Court that maybe could impact Roe v. Wade. We just don't know at this time. And frankly, we don't know at the end of the day, as all these decisions are being brought forward, exactly where he'll end up.
What about the Democrats' argument that this whole process is being rushed? They say they don't have enough information on his record, that records are not being released, or that Republicans just released 40,000 more pages the other night. And as one Democratic senator said, you just can't drink enough coffee to read all of those pages by the time the questioning starts.
True enough. And the question is whether something is being hidden. And I think that's at the core of this. I think there are Democrats that say, at the time that Brett Kavanaugh was working in the George W. Bush White House, he was advising the president on many key issues. And from that perspective, the President Bush and others would like to protect that confidential information that comes to them, because it's very candid, it's very personal. And so while 100,000 pages sound like a lot, we don't know how many of those pages actually reflect on issues that would be of interest to Democrats on the Judiciary Committee.
Brian, there's been a lot of talk about political theater today. This was just day one. There are several days to go with these hearings. There was a lot of grandstanding today, midterms coming up, people running for office, a lot of grandstanding by senators. Do you think we got a chance to hear enough, though, from Kavanaugh himself?
Not yet. This week will be very interesting, especially as we move into the question and answer portion of this. Today, a lot of opening statements. I think Senator Durbin actually probably put his finger on it when he said that, you know, we're going to have all these questions. It's going to go on for a week. And at the end of the day, we may not know much more about how you feel then than we know today. And that's typical of a lot of these hearings, because the whole idea for the nominee is to not stumble, not say something that jeopardizes, in this case, his nomination.
Brian, what is the best that Democrats can hope for here? Do they really have a chance of keeping Judge Kavanaugh from becoming a Supreme Court justice?
Democrats have to hope that through the Q&A, he stumbles just enough to raise doubts, especially among Republican senators. Absent that, I think his nomination goes through, Frank.
All right, Brian Sobel in our newsroom tonight. Brian, thank you for your